moments.
This has to be the best win of the year.
The Tigers have dominated play at home, winning 9 straight in Motown. Tonight they seek to extend the streak against the Yankees. The Bengals' 2 bombers have led the charge during the surge. Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder have blasted opposing pitchers, proving they're the best 3-4 combo in baseball. What magic lies ahead tonight? Find out now on Fox Sports Detroit. And it is indeed game 2 in this series. Austin Jackson, Curtis Granderson, 2 of the top center fielders in the game, will lead their teams to battle here tonight. And we remind you that if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Here is the starting lineup for the visiting New York Yankees, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Curtis Granderson leads it off. Derek Jeter, he is batting second and playing shortstop. Robinson Cano at second base. Mark Teixeira at first. You've got Chavez, Swisher, Ibanez, Suzuki, and Martin rounded out for Joe Girardi. Starting pitcher tonight for the Tigers is Rick Porcello, and he's presented by Soaring Eagle Casino.
Porcello will need to be at his best here tonight after what Verlander did to this really good New York Yankees offense last night. You know, they'll be a little angry here tonight, but Porcello in his last 3 starts against the Yankees in this ballpark, very good. 2-0 with an ERA under 2. June 2nd, one of those outings that Porcello had here against the Yankees earlier this year. The Tigers won the game. Porcello got a no decision in the contest. He pitched 6 innings, gave up just 1 run to a really good Yankees team. They're going to run a lot of the left-handers out here against Porcello tonight, 7 to be exact. So he'll need to be on top of his game against left-handers.
Porcello threw 99 pitches in that game, walked only 1, struck out 3, and went 6 strong in that one for the Tigers, and he'll take on the Yankees again here this evening.
Let's set the Tigers defensively for you. It is always presented by Beaumont Health System. Dirk's back out in left once again here today. Jackson in center. Bosch, he is over in right. Prince, Infante, Peralta, Cabrera in the infield, and Alex Avila is behind the plate.
So Avila continues to get the majority of the starts for Jim Leyland. He is back there again here this evening as the Tigers take on the Yankees in game 2 in this series on another stunningly gorgeous night here at the ballpark.
Weather-wise, it doesn't get much better than the last couple of days, does it?
Been absolutely perfect, I think.
No humidity, really. Just kind of real nice.
So here is Granderson to start things off. Sun is still shining over the ballpark here tonight as Porcello gets ready to go to work. And the first pitch of the ball game to Curtis Granderson is popped up foul, back out of play. 87 degrees our game time temperature tonight. But as Rod mentioned, not a whole lot of humidity, which has made it really, really nice. Granderson, then Jeter, then Cano facing the right-hander Porcello. Here's the 0-1. Fouled straight back, make it 0-2 on Granderson. Mentioned this last night. The Yankees like to score runs in the first inning. They've done a lot of damage. Verlander, of course, shut them down most of the night last night. Now Porcello with the 0-2, and it's fouled off. Granderson stays alive.
Curtis had a rough night last night. He struck out 3 times against Justin Verlander, but a lot of his teammates also had a very difficult night against the ace. Verlander was on top of his game last night.
14 punch-outs for Verlander, equaling a career high. And Granderson just stays alive again as he fouls it off. Curtis this year has hit 29 home runs to this point, batting .243. Waiting on deck is Derek Jeter, having a fabulous season at the age of 38. Porcello trying to put away Granderson. And he missed high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a good pitch. Every other pitch he had thrown to Curtis in this pitch sequence has been at the bottom of the zone. So why not change the eye level, go up for 1 pitch to see if Curtis will swing at it, which he did not.
Here's the 1-2 offering, and it bounces in. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Granderson. Jeter and then Cano, top 3 hitters for the Yankees, who check in tonight with 63 victories. The Tigers have won 59 games. Now the 2-2 pitch. And Granderson cuts and misses. Down he goes.
We talked about the magical evening that it was for Justin Verlander last night. Joe Girardi, the manager of the Yankees, ran 7 left-handers out there against Verlander, but it really didn't matter because he had a great changeup. He had an unhittable curveball. He was spotting his fastball wherever he wanted to spot it. Got several swings and misses, 14 strikeouts to be exact. But in the 8th inning, he probably did his best work. After a visit by Jim Leyland, he simply struck out the side, and that was the end of the evening for Verlander, and he walked off to a standing ovation.
Yeah, how many times do we see Verlander, knowing it's his last inning, just really lay it all out there, and he blew right through the lineup. Awfully impressive last night. Derek Jeter batting out with 1 out, nobody on. Jeter had a couple of hits last night, and now batting .315 for the season. Ball outside from Porcello, 1-1.
He has had very little success. Well, really no success in his career against Porcello.
For a guy that has over 3,000 hits in his career, it really is kind of amazing. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's an odd comparison against Justin Verlander, one of the most dominant pitchers in the game. He's batting .361. 0 for 12 against Porcello, still looking for that first hit. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Looks like he's still going to look for it as Cabrera throws him out. 2 gone. Cabby had to cut that one off for out number 2. That'll bring up Robinson Cano. 2 more hits last night for Cano. He knocked in a run. And he can hit with power as well. 24 home runs this year and 64 driven in.
Special talent. Left-handed pitchers don't really bother him. He clobbers right-handers, doubles, power, drives in big runs.
And he looks at a ball high. 1 ball, no strikes. Cano has hit safely now in 34 of his last 38 games. He's been on a tear, and of course that included a stretch in which he hit in 23 consecutive contests. There's a bouncer back up the middle. Peralta had him played nicely right behind the bag, and a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. Strikeout and a couple of ground outs. First here at Comerica Park tonight. It's a long line of folks who share that sentiment about Cabrera. Here's the starting lineup for the Tigers, presented by Big Boy. Jackson leads it off, and Infante and Cabrera. You've got Fielder in the middle, along with Bosch in right field. Down in the DH, in your bottom 3, Peralta, Avila, and Andy Dirks in left field. starting pitcher tonight for the Yankees is Phil Hughes. He's presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet of Rochester.
Well, this might be a lethal combination today for Phil Hughes. Once the Tigers have lots of good right-handed batters, he's giving up a .326 batting average to right-handed batters, and he also gives up lots of big flies, 25 of those to be exact.
So we'll see if the Tigers can add to that total as Austin Jackson leads it off. Jackson, Infante, Cabrera facing Phil Hughes, and the first pitch is right down the middle, strike one.
That's what you'll get from Phil Hughes. You'll get fastballs anywhere from 92 to 95. He's got a nice little curveball that he will throw to the right-handed batters, and a changeup, which he throws a lot to the lefties, but he doesn't throw that changeup to right-handers, and that's why the batting average is 100 points higher against righties than it is lefties.
Another fastball down the middle makes it 0-2 on Jackson. Jackson right now enjoying a 9-game hitting streak. He was 1 for 4 in last night's game. Leads the American League with 7 triples. What a job he has done in the leadoff slot for Detroit. He was missing outside. Even the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Jackson playing so well this year, he might find himself on that World Baseball Classic roster next spring.
That one just missed 3-2. I guess I hadn't thought that far ahead, but you might be right.
Oh, no doubt.
He's had that kind of year and has been the catalyst to the Tigers offense this year. The 3-2 is swung on and missed, and down he goes on a 94-mile-an-hour heater.
Tim Hortons will sponsor the New York Yankees defensive alignment this evening. You have Ichiro Suzuki. He is in left field. He has won 10 Gold Gloves. Granderson in center, Swisher in right. Chavez, Jeter, Cano, Teixeira round out the infield, and Russell Martin is catching for the second consecutive evening here at Comerica Park.
Here's Omar Infante, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. Omar is in the 2 slot in this one here tonight. He batted 9th in last night's ball game. Infante has that batting average up now to .293 in a Tigers uniform, and it was only a matter of time. I think Omar admitted that when he came over to the Tigers, the trading deadline, he was pressing a little bit, even though he had been here before and knew all about the city and all about the team. This obviously was a situation where they wanted him to help this ball club out. And meanwhile, Hughes has picked up a couple of big strikeouts. 2 gone.
He struck Austin Jackson out with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball, but you can see he throws a knuckle curve. He got that pitch from Mike Mussina. And when Mussina was pitching for the New York Yankees, he taught Phil that curveball, and Phil has perfected that pitch. That curveball to Infante, the first one he's thrown of the evening.
So here's Cabrera now with 2 outs, and he skies one foul back out of play. Miguel is 7 for 17 in his career with 3 home runs against Phil Hughes. So he's gone deep against him a few times. Hughes, the native of Mission Viejo, California, 26 years old. And that's driven down the right field line, fouled, and the count quickly 0-2. Cabrera now leads the American League with 92 RBIs. And again, a sure bet to get to 100, health provided. That's a yearly occurrence for Miguel. Ball high, 1-2.
It will be the 9th consecutive season that he has gotten to the century mark as far as RBIs are concerned. And the only other player in the game that has 8 in a row, as Miggy does, is Mark Teixeira.
Fielder waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. That is popped up. Maybe Teixeira has room toward the dugout. He does as he reaches in, and the Tigers go 1-2-3. As we go to the second, no score. stability since 1849. Dodge. Take advantage of the great deals of the Dodge Summer Clearance event going on now. And by Oscar Mayer, a delicious way to bring the family together. Back here in the Motor City, they've got a house divided. That guy's going to go home unhappy tonight, I have a feeling.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. After the Tigers whoop up on the Yanks tonight, Porcello back to work and a ball down low.
You got to keep Mama happy, that's for sure.
It'll be Teixeira, Chavez, and Swisher here in the second. Porcello's 1-0. That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shift on for Teixeira. Peralta swung around toward the first base side of second. Here's the 1-1. Porcello stays away, 2-1. Rick has victories in 4 of his last 5 decisions. He came in tonight, the winner of 8 games this year. That's pulled, and he beat the shift right through a couple of defenders into right field. Teixeira is on. Well, this game is available tonight in high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast. Temperature in the upper 80s, not a whole lot of humidity. Beautiful night here at the ballpark tonight. And the Old English D on the Renaissance Center,
looking sweet.
Here's Eric Chavez. Big night last night against Verlander. Really the only guy that could figure him out. 3 hits. And he slaps that one foul down the left field line.
And the 3 hits that he got off of Verlander, a couple of doubles and a single, all came on off-speed pitches. And then Verlander finally struck him out his last time up on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Chavez has hit 10 home runs this year. There's the 0-1 in there. 0-2 on Chavez.
You know, that's the difference between the New York Yankees and most teams when they start to form their 25-man roster when they leave Florida to go to New York. They've got guys like Chavez, Andrew Jones on their bench, guys that have won Gold Gloves, guys that have made all-star teams, guys that have been really good players. Most teams don't have the luxury of signing players like this and then simply sitting them on the bench.
Well, and you have to give Brian Cashman a tip of the cap because he waits until those guys are available at the very last second, and he gets them for a little bit probably of a lower price. And these guys are very accomplished, as you mentioned. They traded for Ichiro. 1-2 is rolled towards second base. This might be 2. There's 1. There's 2. 4-6-3.
And one of the reasons why Chavez is getting consistent reps at third base, a couple of starts ago for King Felix against the Yankees in Seattle, he hit A-Rod in the hand, and as a result of that, A-Rod landed on the disabled list.
Yet the Yankees, as you mentioned, have a very experienced bench, and so one of the pieces they pulled off is Chavez to get the start. Porcello with the bases empty now facing Nick Swisher. Swisher last night hitless. He is batting .255 this year. Swisher's numbers over the years may not be upper echelon, but he is extremely consistent through the years with his power numbers. He drives in runs. Usually 20 or more home runs. In fact, he's done that at 7 consecutive years now. And that missed inside of low. 2-1. Porcello a few times already in this game, hitting 95 with his fastball.
He has pitched well against the Yankees in this ballpark. His last 3 starts against New York in this yard, dating back to 2010. He has won 2. He has not lost in 3 starts in the ERA of 1.35.
Wow. Really impressive considering the lineups they roll out. Nice stroke to left center. That'll drop. Base hit. A little soft serve the other way for Nick Swisher. Second hit of the ball game now for the Yankees, and that'll bring up Raul Ibanez. Here's another one of the veterans that Brian Cashman has signed. Ibanez has hit 15 home runs this year. And he's hit some big ones this season.
One of the things that Porcello has struggled with in his major league career, and that's with a lot of left-handed batters. Left-handers are hitting over 300 against Porcello in his career. And that's one of those numbers that he just needs to get a little bit better with. And the way you get better is you incorporate a few change-ups, a few more breaking balls down and in. Sort of the same way that Scherzer has gotten better this year against left-handed batters.
Lifted in the air toward left field. On the move is Dirks, still coming, and it's a couple of rows deep.
Good to see Dirks running at full speed. He doesn't appear to be favoring that injury at all.
No, we saw him run the bases pretty well his first game back, which was encouraging. And he seems to be going full tilt. What a lift you would expect that he will give this team down the stretch. No balls, 2 strikes on Raul Ibanez. Chopper hit right back to the mound. Rick makes the play, and that is that. A couple of hits, no damage done. To the bottom of the second we go.
In here during this current homestand that the Tigers are on. His batting average is over 600, and he has been buggy whipping some stuff all around this ballpark, whether it be in the seats, in right field, or left central, driving in lots of runs that Cabrera doesn't pick up, and Miggy picks up just about every single run out there.
Well, Prince this year has knocked in 80, and he'll go to work here in the second, leading things off, and he swings on the first and fouls it away, 0-1.
That is fascinating to me, the fact that Miguel has driven in more than 90, which means he's not leaving many out there, but yet Prince has 80 RBIs.
That's a good point. Of course, Prince is always knocking Miguel in, though. There's the hit it here, Prince sign. It's out there every night, it appears. Here's the 0-1.
Those folks must have some season tickets right there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun to watch as the summer progresses. You look at the major league leaders in RBIs, how that sign might fade in color as the nights pass by. That one's popped up. Right side of the infield. To the grass goes Cano. One gone.
Apparently the game plan that was given to Phil Hughes here today by Larry Rothschild, their pitching coach, is one to attack these Tigers hitters with lots of fastballs. He's gone anywhere from 92 to 94. And the majority of the pitches that he has thrown have been fastballs.
We'll bring up Brennan Bosch, and Brennan batting .249 with 11 home runs. In there for strike one. 92 again. The fastball down the middle. There's Larry Rothschild, pitching coach for Joe Girardi. Here's the 0-1. Popped up. Third base side. Is there room? There is not. Back into the dugout it goes.
Larry Rothschild also was the pitching coach for Jim Leyland back in Florida in '97 when the Florida Marlins won the World Series. Went on to manage the Tampa Bay Rays after that. Pitching coach for the Cubs for a while. Now he finds himself in New York. Very respected. Really good pitching coach.
Pitched here in Detroit in the early '80s in his playing career. And a ball missing high from Hughes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hughes has thrown 19 pitches in this game. 17 of them have been fastballs. That's fouled away, and there's another. That one at 93 from Hughes. He has made 9 career appearances entering this ballgame tonight against the Tigers, and he's 5-3 with an ERA of 3.83. He's done good work against Detroit. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul, and Bosch able to stay alive. Bosch again in that 5 hole, backing up Prince Fielder. He has bounced around the lineup. You of course recall that he was in the number 2 slot heading out of spring training, and many thought that batting ahead of Cabrera and Fielder would produce big results. And it's just off the plate. That was close. 2-2. Just a tad outside, according to Mr. Foxtracks. And the 2-2. Bouncing in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I think Bosch is trying to sell the fact that he hit him in the foot. Bob Davidson was not buying. And that's why. He's pointing to his toe. It hit me right there. It hurts. Davidson, negative. 3-2. There's a foul back. Boy, Hughes got off to a really slow start this year. In fact, the month of April was horrible for Phil Hughes. 7.88 ERA in the first month, but has since turned things around, especially in the second half. There's the 3-2 again, and a ground ball back up the middle. It'll find a hole into center field.
Outstanding at bat by Brennan Bosch. He saw everything that Phil Hughes is featuring here today, and finally got himself a 3-2 changeup and hit it right back up the box. He fouled off the fastball. He took the curveball. Finally got a changeup that was up, because Phil Hughes was trying to throw a strike with the pitch in a 3-2 count.
Here is Delman Young, who last night had a couple of hits for the Tigers, batting .265. And he backs out of there. The pitch inside at the knees. 1-0. 12 homers this year for Delman. 44 driven in. Young also scored a run in last night's game. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball slowly towards short. Jeter gobbles it up to second one. No relay from Cano. Not hit hard enough for the double play. 2 gone. We were talking about Phil Hughes moments ago about turning his season around after a very slow start. Look at the difference between his first 10 starts and his last 11.
They scrapped that cut fastball that Phil Hughes was throwing earlier this year because it was getting hit with a lot of regularity. No longer throwing the cutter. He is simply forcing fastball, curveball, and a changeup, and the results have been very good because of that.
Johnny Peralta, the batter, with 2 outs. 2 out of 4 last night, knocked 1 in, and batting .264 this year. The 1-0. The bender misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Cabrera and Prince both homered in the game last night, but it was the table setters, the guys batting below those 2, that did most of the damage, whether it was Infante or Peralta or Jackson or Vila. They all chipped in.
Well, in last night's ball game, hitters 6 through 9 in the lineup had 7 hits. They had 1 inning in which they put together 5 consecutive hits and then followed that up with 4 straight hits the next frame. Cabrera hit one about 454 feet last night.
Massive power.
High drive right field, not going to be deep enough. Swisher to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Belt Tire. It's even less common to see what Justin Verlander did to him last night.
Well, he came into the game last night as the toughest player in the American League to strike out, and Verlander struck him out 3 times, once with the fastball and then a couple of different times with that filthy curveball that he had last night. And how about that last swing by Suzuki?
Well, 4 games with 3 or more strikeouts. And 1,196 plate appearances the last 2 seasons. Doesn't happen very often. Verlander was able to time up in knots. Another big crowd here tonight on a gorgeous evening for baseball. Game 2 in this series. Tigers won the opener last night. Ichiro running out of the box takes a ball outside. We're used to seeing Ichiro bat leadoff, but Joe Girardi has not used him in that capacity with this ball club. His on-base percentage really low this year. There's a swing and a miss. In fact, Ichiro's on-base percentage of .286 is much lower than we're used to seeing. And of course, all the talent in this lineup as well. Ichiro batting in the 8th slot. He'll get fouled back into the seats. 1-2 on Ichiro Suzuki. He's piled up a Hall of Fame career here in the States after 10 years in Japan. And Ichiro 10 All-Star games stateside, 10 Gold Gloves. Missed it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Porcello had a 1-2-3 first. Got a double play ball to help out the cause in the second. Ichiro fouls it away.
Ichiro, when his career is all said and done, he'll get to the Hall of Fame. And that's how good he has been since coming to the United States to play for Seattle, now the New York Yankees. Dominant leadoff hitter.
That his 12-game hitting streak with this new club snapped in last night's ball game. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Peralta ranging left. Quick release is in time. They got him by half a step. 1 away. Let's go to the studio now for a game break. Here's Justin White. All right, Justin, thanks. Here it is scoreless as we play in the third. 1 out, nobody on. And Russell Martin will stand in. Martin last night had a 1 for 4. This has been a struggle offensively for a guy that has been a little bit better with the bat over the years. He still has hit 12 home runs this season. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball right back to the mound. Porcello getting yet another ground ball out. That's a good sign. 2 gone.
Porcello's already thrown several fastballs 95 and above, and when he's able to do that, hitters start to look for the fastball, as Martin was doing there, cheating with the front shoulder, pulling off, and hit that ball right off the end of the bat.
Granderson struck out to start the ball game. He'll bat with 2 outs. Brandy has whiffed 4 times already in the series. And he takes ball 1.
Curtis will do a lot of that. He did that when he was wearing a Tigers uniform. But he's got plenty of sock in that bat as well.
Well, Granderson has been elevated to the leadoff slot. This is his 5th consecutive game batting leadoff. Joe Girardi has said he will do that against right-handed pitching, which obviously Porcello is a right-hander. So he's hit leadoff the last 2 nights. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. And there's always going to be someone that wonders why you hit certain guys in certain spots in the lineup, and Girardi has gotten that, but his answer is, what do you want me to bat leadoff? I mean, look at some of the players they have on this team.
Well, he can get you a 1-run lead, too, in the first inning.
No doubt. And a strike call. And Girardi points to Granderson's on-base percentage against right-handed pitching as to why he was selected. As we mentioned, Ichiro just has not done a good job in that respect. Swing and a miss, and Granderson strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Porcello, a 1-2-3 3rd inning. They'll go to the bottom half. Still no score. Of the third here at the ballpark tonight. Still no score, no runs, 2 hits for the visiting Yankees, no runs, 1 hit for Detroit. And for the Tigers, it'll be Alex Avila, Andy Dirks, and Austin Jackson facing the right-hander Phil Hughes. First pitch is swung on and missed, 0-1.
Until a couple of these Tigers catch up with that fastball that Hughes is featuring here tonight, he's going to continue to throw it. And the majority of them are belt buckle or higher, and that's kind of the way that he has had success against Tigers hitters in the past.
Pulled on the ground and through on a breaking ball. He slaps it to right field. Leadoff man on.
Thursday, the Tigers and the Yankees conclude their series with a matinee at 1:05. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit Tigers.com.
Be Doug Fister at the series finale on Thursday, the day game, before the Tigers will jet to Texas to start the next road trip.
Doug Fister's always a good getaway day pitcher.
Oh, man, he's the best. Get it and throw it. Andy Dirks batting in the 9 slot in this one here tonight. He looks to strike 1. 1 for 3 with an RBI for Andy last night. Batting .333. You know, the interesting thing about Dirks, who missed all of June and all of July, is that he never really got overly down on the fact that his Achilles injury was taking so long. He was always seemingly upbeat through the entire process. Here's the 0-1. That's fouled straight back. And you don't see that a lot of times. Guys get frustrated when they're not able to help the team. Dirks, for a couple of those weeks, was in a walking boot, and it just wasn't getting any better. And the Tigers had to be patient, and here he is. Avila has led things off with a single here in the third. And, excuse me, swing is grounded foul. 0-2 on Andy. Top of the order coming up next, Austin Jackson. Breaking ball bouncing in, 1-2.
Nice block there by Russell Martin. And when you call for the breaking ball, especially with 2 strikes and a runner on base, you've got to be ready to get over there and block it, and he did just that. It also gives the pitcher lots of confidence to throw that breaking ball and bury it down in the dirt when you have a catcher that you know will keep it in front of him.
High fly ball left field. Ichiro cruising back right in front of the warning track. Dirks is out, 1 gone.
Told you that Phil Hughes came out throwing lots of fastballs in the game, and he started it out by going after Jackson. Everything was a fastball. It's our barrel tire pitch by pitch, and everything for the most part was up in the strike zone and away from Jackson, and he was able to get Jackson to swing and miss for the first out of the game.
Jackson swings and misses, 0-1. What is it about that 92-mile-an-hour fastball that is fooling the Tigers?
Well, that's where he's locating it. He's throwing the ball above the belt buckle, and it's tough to get to that pitch. It looks like you can handle it, but the ball gets on you in a hurry, and you don't see many guys able to get on top of it. You'll see guys pop it up because they're late on it. You have to force Hughes into getting the ball down.
Hughes, as we mentioned, has given up a ton of home runs, 25 this year. And Jackson lays off that one up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Former #1 pick of the Yankees back in 2004. That's a little bit high, 2-1. Yankees have had to deal with some injuries in their starting rotation. Andy Pettit came back from retirement and then was injured. Michael Pineda, who they got in the big offseason deal, never really got going this year and is DL'd for the entire season. Freddie Garcia, the veteran, has been able to fill in. Java Chamberlain has been hurt. CC. It's popped in the air to center field. Granderson cruising under it for out number 2. So Avila stays anchored at first base. That'll bring up Infante. Omar batting .286. 7 RBIs now in a Tigers uniform. Slaps this one toward right field. Swisher will come over to make the play, and the inning is over. Nothing comes of the leadoff single. Here comes Rick Porcello back to the mound in the 4th.
Part likes to live up in the zone, and because of that, he's gotten himself several pop-ups and several flyouts already in this game off the bats of Tigers hitters. And Porcello, well, you know what he does best. 7 ground balls already for outs in this game by Porcello, and when he is usually doing this, he's usually pitching his best baseball.
So when you compare the 2 starting pitchers in this ball game here tonight, they are strikingly similar. Hughes and Porcello have thrown, well, Hughes 43, Porcello 42, and the numbers are just about identical. Get it done in different ways, but they're getting it done. And now Porcello back at the hill facing 2, 3, and 4. Derek Jeter will lead things off for the Yankees. Both teams 2 hits, neither team with a run. Jeter is 0 for 1. Ball 1 to Derek.
You don't see many right-handers played with the first baseman this far off the line, but Derek Jeter is one of those guys that we pointed out. He gets a lot of base hits right where Prince Fielder is standing, so Prince is overplaying him to his right.
It sails outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
52 hits the opposite way this year for the captain. 65 right back up the middle. Doesn't like left field all that much. If you hang him a breaking ball, he'll go to left field, though.
He's going to pull this one and find a hole. How about that? He beat those numbers.
Yes, he did.
Leadoff man on for the Yankees, and they get their 3rd hit of the game.
He got himself a 2-0 fastball, and Derek was trying to do some damage with that pitch. Pounded it right into the dirt. Yeah, but he found that hole between Miggy and also Peralta. That'll
bring up Robinson Cano, who bounced out in the 1st. Porcello got 2 ground ball outs in the first, a double play ball in the second, and a couple of ground outs in the third. Ball 1. Cano this year was the captain of the home run hitting contest at the All-Star game after winning it last year. And of course, he was booed heavily in Kansas City during the All-Star game because he did not select Billy Butler as part of the team. And missed low. 2 balls, no strikes. What do you think of that whole situation?
I thought it was weak, really, on the Kansas City Royals fans' parts. I did not like it at all.
I agree. I know that a lot of them said, well, you promised Billy would be on the team and then you didn't put him on the team.
I mean, you had your dad out there throwing BP to you and you're getting booed after every single swing. His family was in the stands and they were giving his family a bad time. It was bad for me.
There's a ground ball to short. This looks like a double play. Here comes the relay from Infante. Taylor made.
That is the 15th double play this year that Cano has grounded into.
Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Mark Teixeira. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you. Porcello against Teixeira just 214. And the rest of the Tigers 229. So really Tex has not been able to do a whole lot against Tiger pitching, period. Ball missing outside to Teixeira.
I will have to say, though, that is a side of the Kansas City Royals fans that we'd never ever seen before.
No, I'm with you on that. Absolutely.
We go there a lot and we never ever witness anything like that.
No, we go there 3 times a year and they've always treated us well. They've treated Tigers players well. But that was just I believe just an isolated incident. It was ugly though. And it's a little low in the count on Teixeira now. 2 balls, 1 strike. Driven right out of the reach of Johnny Peralta again. A single just about the same spot to Teixeira now 2 for 2. So much for those numbers, I suppose. He's beaten the shift twice for the Tigers. That'll bring up Eric Chavez. Chavez had a very decorated career with the Oakland Athletics. Played 13 seasons out on the West Coast. Won a lot of Gold Gloves, 6 in a row. And he rolls this one foul.
I scouted Chavez in high school. He was from Mount Carmel High School in San Diego. He was playing shortstop at that time. He and the former Tiger Eric Munson were on the same high school team. Chavez was a #1 draft choice and he signed out of high school. Eric Munson went to USC and played collegiately.
There's a line drive to left. Dirk's on the run, looks up, and that ball is gone. How about that? Line drive, opposite field home run, just over the fence and left, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead. Chavez wasn't sure. They're signaling home run, and now he'll finish the tour. A 2-out, 2-run shot.
You don't see many left-handers hit the ball the opposite direction on the line and it get into that Tigers bullpen.
Oh, it hit the top. That's your basic wall scraper right there. So the home runs by Chavez this year, 2 have gone to left. It's his 11th of the year, and it's 2-0 Yankees. Strike 1 on Nick Swisher. Swisher had a base hit, did not score back in the second. Porcello got the double play ball off the batter Robinson Cano, then Teixeira singled and Chavez homered. 5 hits now for the Yanks. Just missed the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Swisher.
That's a good pitch, though. A nice little swing back fastball. Greg Maddux that made that pitch very famous. You started at the left-handed batter, and it just kind of leaps back toward the inside corner, but he couldn't get the call there.
Here's the 1-2. Rolled foul. Swisher broken 0 for 14 with a base hit back in the second. Trying to walk that one off. Joe Girardi's Yankees came in with a lead in the American League East of 5.5 games after losing last night to the Tigers. The Orioles within 5.5. Keep waiting for that Baltimore team to just kind of slip and fade away, but they're hanging in there. Here's the 1-2. Ball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ibanez in the on-deck circle for the Yanks. Here's the 2-2. Porcello, by and large, has done pretty well against the East. 2-1 this year with a 3.41 ERA, and now Joe Girardi coming out. Swisher banged that ball off his foot, and apparently it's still bothering him. Let's see if it actually was the foot or where it hit it. It was the last swing. Hard to tell, but it hurt. Short visit, though. 2-2 on Swisher. Porcello again came inside, did not get the call. The count goes 3-2. And the full count pitch. Driven down the right field line. Fair ball. It's going to go to the corner. It's extra bases. Bad leg and all. Swisher will hobble into second base with a 2-out 2-base hit, and that's 3 consecutive hits following the double play.
Porcello had enough confidence to throw his changeup here in a 3-2 count to Nick Swisher, and Swisher able to get out in front of it and hit that ball rather hard down in that right field corner.
Wincing all the way to second. So the Yanks will try and get him home now as Ibanez stands in, and he looks at ball 1. Turned into a 20-pitch inning for Rick Porcello. It's 21 with that last pitch. 63 for the ball game now. Here's the 1-0. Popped him up. Will it stay in play? Foul territory. Cabrera has room. Inning over. However, the Yankees get 2 on the homer by Chavez. Play Arby's new Snap and Rock promotion. Snap a picture of your cup, send and win. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Tigers have a deficit to make up now. 2-0 is our score. As we go to the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Miguel Cabrera to lead it off. Cabrera, Fielder, and Bosch here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball low and away. .323 average for Cabrera. He has popped up in this game 0 for 1. And he drives one deep to left. Way back. Tigers are about to get on the board. It is gone. A home run for Miguel Cabrera.
One thing you cannot do to dangerous bats like Miguel Cabrera, and you can't pitch him the same way during the course of the entire game. Phil Hughes has given the Tigers a steady dose of fastballs, and that fastball was up. But take a look at the hips of Miguel Cabrera right here. He's looking for the fastball. He clears the hips out of the way early, and that puts the hands in a really good position to do major damage.
Prince Fielder will stand in. Tigers are on the board now. It's a 2-1 ball game, and the home run for Cabrera, number 29.
Great hitters. Pitchers have to make adjustments from pitch to pitch. Not at bat to at bat, but pitch to pitch. And Cabrera would fall into that category as a great hitter.
Give him 93 RBIs and give the crowd something to cheer about. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Or did he foul tip it? He foul tipped it. So Fielder still kicking.
And very seldom will you see Miguel Cabrera take fastballs and hit them that far to left field. Usually it's breaking balls that Miguel Cabrera hits off right-handed pitchers to left field.
Did he hold up? He did. Tony Randazzo. 1-2 on Prince. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled back out of play. Tigers now have 3 hits on the board. Fielder homered in the ball game last night, was 2 out of 3. He sits safely in 5 in a row. Popped it up foul, heading back toward the seats. Chavez will give a look, but it's back into the dugout. And then into the seats. 1-2 on the Prince. Each team with a long ball in this game. A 2-run shot for Chavez, and then a solo homer for Miguel Cabrera. Breaking ball ties up Fielder in knots, and he strikes him out. It's 3 strikeouts now for Hughes. By the way, here's the Mazda scouting report tonight on Miguel Cabrera. He's hit safely in 35 of 38 against the Yankees.
And how about what he's done against them in 2012? 5 home runs and 9 RBIs.
Pretty good. It's beyond pretty good.
Well, he beats up on the best pitchers, and the Yankees, generally speaking, always have a star-studded cast of pitchers.
Bosch the batter. Brennan singled back in the second. Fouled straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've seen Bosch warm up a little bit. We saw the month of July, in which he was well over 300 for that month. He settled in at 295. And in August now, 333. Checked it high. 2-1. Are you a believer, Rob, that sometimes moving a guy in an order and putting him in a spot of importance, as Bosch is right now, can get him jump started and keep him going?
Not really. I just think Brennan is a little bit more comfortable right now than he was at the beginning of the year. And also something that Brennan never really talked about is the fact that he did have some surgery on his hand in the offseason, and it wasn't quite healthy when he got to cold weather. It was good in Florida, but it was not good at the beginning of the year. But he didn't really mention it all that much. But I just think he's healthy. I think he's confident. I think he's getting some better swings to hit. Better pitches to hit, I should say.
Well, he is now 5 for 10 in his career against Hughes after his single back in the second. Lloyd McClendon, we know this, has been sleeping a little bit better on this homestand. His offense has certainly perked up, and of course they had some big hits late in that game, that series finale against the Indians.
That was the first pitch by Hughes in this pitch sequence to Bosch at the bottom of the zone. It was a breaking ball. Everything else has been up in the zone to Brennan. And Brennan singled sharply up the middle his first time up on a changeup from Phil Hughes.
Outside, run at full now, 3-2.
And now he's got himself up there in another 3-2 count. Bosch has made Hughes work awfully hard here tonight. He has seen a number of pitches from Phil in his first 2 plate appearances.
Another foul back out of play. Count stays 3-2 on Bosch. Hughes himself coming off an injury, appeared in just 17 games last year, had shoulder inflammation. This was after a really good 2010. Another foul back out of play.
Of the 62 total pitches that Hughes has already thrown in the game, 18 of those have come to Brennan Bosch.
10th pitch of this at bat, 20th pitch of the inning upcoming. And another foul back out of play. The home run that Hughes gave up in this inning is the 26th that he has allowed this year, which now ties him for the league high. Irvin Santana, Jason Vargas, Tommy Hunter, the other 3. And that is pulled foul just outside of the bag. Driving that pitch count up. Ground ball back up the middle. It's going to find the outfield grass. Wouldn't hit all that hard, but a good at bat for Bosch, and now he's 2 for 2.
Hey fans, let me remind you that you can join Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers Foundation for Keeping Kids in the Game, a benefit event at Comerica Park on Monday, August 20th. Enjoy exclusive clubhouse and field access, private fireworks show, a strolling dinner, drinks and cigars in the Tiger Club. Call 313-471-2113 or log on to tigersfoundation.com. That sounds like a fun night.
It does indeed. Look forward to that. Dillman Young, the batter. After a 12-pitch at bat from Brennan Bosch, he singles. Tigers now have 4 hits. Here's the 0-1 to Young, and it's off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another bender. He went around this time as Bob Davidson goes up with the right hand. 1-2 on Young. Hughes another breaking ball. That one was spoiled back into the seats. Count remains 1-2 on Delman.
Well, if you're Brennan Bosch and you're recognizing the fact that Hughes might just try to get Delman out with a breaking ball, you have to anticipate that it's going to be in the dirt. And if you see the ball going down in the dirt, you've got to get a pretty good break off first and get yourself down in a scoring position.
Fastball that time in 94 missed away. 2-2. Hughes is being taxed here in the fourth inning. Gave up the leadoff home run to Cabrera. One out single to Bosch after a 12 pitch at bat. High fly ball, right center field. Granderson and Swisher, and it'll be Swisher. Bosch will hold up. 2 gone. We'll bring up Johnny Peralta. Johnny in this game 0 for 1. He flied to right field as well. He was one of quite a few Tigers that came into this game with really good numbers against Hughes. 7 for 15 coming in. Johnny's had a good homestand, trying to deliver a 2-out hit here in the fourth inning. Again, a breaking ball. This one misses. 1-0. Another breaking ball. That one's in for a strike inside part of the plate. 1-1. He's featured that pitch a lot this half inning. Hughes went to high school in talent-rich Southern California at Foothill High School in Santa Ana, where he was an All-American high school player. Another bender. 1-2.
Well, it took Miguel Cabrera hitting that fastball at 92 out to left to cause Phil Hughes to start to throw more breaking balls in this inning. First 3 innings, he threw a heavy dose of fastballs at Tigers hitters.
Off the end of the bat, foul, and Peralta stays alive. Tigers have been out hit 6-4 in this game. They trail 2-1 as we play in the fourth. Alex Avila waiting his turn on deck. Ooh, look out. Johnny bending out of the way, drops the bat. That one a little bit too close for comfort.
Jeter, he knows that feeling. Whoa.
Good block there by the catcher Martin, so the count fills at 3-2, which means the runner will get started here. 34 pitch inning now for Phil Hughes, and that's jumped his pitch count to 77 after 3 somewhat snappy innings. Breaking ball hit to third, fair ball, down the line it goes. Here comes Bosch to third. They're going to send him home. Ichiro's throw from left field is going to be late. Double and an RBI for Johnny Peralta. Two ball game.
Real nice at-bat by Brennan Bosch and a really good at-bat by Peralta, getting a breaking ball up and keeping it fair. And by the time Ichiro Suzuki got to it, if you're Brennan Bosch, you know you have to get on your horse because he can really throw. And he made that play close at home plate. Brennan got an early start on the 3-2 count, and once he got to second base, he knew Gene Lamont was going to send him home, and Brennan's got good speed going from first to third, second to home.
Ichiro played to carry him off the sidewall, but just couldn't get it in there in time, and it's a 2-2 ball game as Peralta picks up his 41st RBI. Now we'll see if the Tigers can take the lead. Here is Avila. And he fouls it away 0-1. You talk about making Hughes work. The Tigers have fouled off 15 pitches in this inning. Bosch had himself a 12-pitch at bat total just by himself. He had 7 in that at bat. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Alex. Tigers now have 5 hits. Hughes desperately trying to get out of this inning. Here's the 0-2. Foul away. RBIs in the frame to Cabrera and Peralta. And again the 0-2. He missed it inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hughes had a 1-2-3 first, gave up a single, no damage in the second, single, no damage in the third, and now he's about to throw his 40th pitch of this 4th inning. 40 of them, and here it is. Inside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tigers hitters have been much more disciplined second time through the order against Phil Hughes here tonight. First time around they were swinging at that fastball up in the zone. They've laid off it for the most part in this inning.
As he did there. 3-2.
Nice adjustment made by the hitting coach down there, Lloyd McClendon, and his boys.
So it's full. The pitches continue to mount for Phil Hughes. Avila waiting on a 3-2 offering. And here it is. Bouncing ball to first. That's a fair ball. Glove there by Teixeira, and that will finally end the inning. However, the Tigers got 2, and the first one came in on 1. Big swing by Miguel Cabrera. His 29th home run. A 2-2 game, and that brings us to our AT&T trivia question tonight. The Tigers beat the Yankees in the 2006 ALDS. You all know that. Here's the question: which Tigers pitcher started Game 4 in the clinching win over the New York Yankees? Was it that guy? Maybe. Maybe not. Brand new game now, 2-2 as we go to the 5th inning, and it'll be Ichiro to lead things off. Porcello gave up a 2-run homer in the 4th, but his teammates have come back to give him 2. Ichiro, then Russell Martin, and then Curtis Granderson. And the first pitch is in for a strike. Ichiro bounced out in the 3rd, had his 12-game hitting streak snapped in last night's ball game, so he remains hitless in this series. And Ichiro, in his first game that he's not gotten at least one hit for the Yanks. Here's the 1-1 on the outer edge, 1-2. Ichiro is also playing left field again here tonight for the Yankees. He had not played left field in the regular season at all, ever, for Seattle. He'd only played center and right in his 12 years there, so this is a little bit new for him. Swing and a miss. Man, Ichiro having some trouble in this series. Strikes out again. One gone. Hey, it's a Fox Sports Detroit Prize Pack Tuesday brought to you by Meyer. Text Meyer to 37338 to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any fan would absolutely love. Meyer, experience the savings, experience the difference. Here's Russell Martin. Flared foul back out of play. Martin batting a .192, 1 for 5 in the series. And that has popped up. Right side of the infield in foul ground. Prince camping under it. 2 gone. So this is good to see. The Tigers get 2 runs for Rick Porcello, and he comes right back.
Porcello is only 8 of 18 in first pitch strikes so far here today, but that really hasn't been an issue for him. But that is one thing in one way that you can sort of beat this Yankees team, get ahead, and then expand the strike zone and see if you can get them to chase some pitches.
Here's Granderson, who has struck out 2 more times in this game. And he takes strike 1. Curtis fanned 3 times last night. It was quite a year last year for Granderson. He had 41 homers. He knocked in 119 runs in a Yankees uniform and finished 4th in the MVP voting in the American League last year. Of course, that was won by Justin Verlander. Chopper hit back up the middle. Here comes Infante on the charge, and a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. We're on our way to the bottom of the 5th inning, where Austin Jackson is due up 2nd in the game. Tigers 2, Yankees 2. In front of another sellout crowd, it appears, here at the ballpark tonight. 2 runs, 5 hits Detroit, 2 runs, 6 hits for the Yankees. Andy Dirks will lead things off against Phil Hughes, who had to struggle through a 40-plus pitch inning in the 4th frame. Dirks, then Jackson, then Infante. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hughes did not get much rest in the top half of the 5th inning either, because Porcello only needed 9 pitches to get out of that inning. So he has had to get right back onto that mound rather quickly.
Yeah, he barely sat down and got something to drink. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dirks. Here's the 1-2. Lifted back out of play. Tigers tomorrow night will see the best that the Yankees have to offer. That would be CC Sabathia.
He's pretty good.
He is really good indeed. Anibal Sanchez will oppose him. And the 1-2. Little pop up third base side. Chavez will not get there.
CC Sabathia, a lot like Justin Verlander, a lot like Jared Weaver, a lot like King Felix Hernandez of the Seattle Mariners. All 4 guys, when they came to the major leagues, they had upper 90s fastballs, and they had good breaking balls, but did not use them as effectively as they do now. Now all 4 of those guys are outstanding pitchers.
That's going to find a hole. Andy Dirks shoots one into right field, and the Tigers get the leadoff man out. Well, we want to remind you that as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It is brought to you by Miller Lite. Tigers now have their 6th hit. That'll bring up Jackson. Boston a strikeout and a fly out. Fouled away, 0-1. We're talking about CC. For as dominant as he has been, his ERA lifetime against the Tigers 4.44. So they've been able to get to him a little bit. We'll see what transpires here tomorrow night.
A lot of that damage against CC came when he was wearing a Cleveland Indians uniform. They also have hit him on a couple of occasions when he's had that Yankee uni on as well, but they used to beat up on him when he was playing for the Tribe.
0-2 on AJ. While David Phelps, who appeared in last night's ball game, is warming up here because the pitch count is into the 90s now for Phil Hughes. One and 2. Once again, Jackson lays off the fastball. Hughes was cruising along until he gave up the home run to Cabrera to lead off the 4th, and then the RBI double to Johnny Peralta later in that inning. Ground ball left side off the glove of Chavez into left. Dirks on his way to 3rd. He is in there standing up. And now the Tigers have runners at 1st and 3rd and nobody out.
Eric Chavez has won quite a few Gold Gloves. Most of those came when he was a younger player playing for the Oakland Athletics, but that one hit too sharply and he could not knock it down. But outstanding base running there by Andy Dirks. He knows that, one, you have to get on your horse anytime Ichiro Suzuki's approaching the baseball because he throws so well, but Ichiro hadn't gotten there yet, and Dirks standing on 3rd with nobody out.
And here is Omar Infante. Omar tonight is 0 for 2. Had the big game on Sunday, the 4-hit game. He is marching toward 1,000 hits in his career, 25 shy. The old bluff to third, look at first.
Last year for that play, right?
That's what they say. And it can't come soon enough. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike called, 1-1. It's fouled back out of play. 1-2 on Omar Infante. Boone Logan, the lefty, now is beginning to warm up. And Phelps up. Now it's Logan, the lefty. Fielder and Bosch lurking. They may be hitting in this inning. Logan is up for. There's a ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. These two teams have played 7 games so far this year. The Yanks have won 4. The Tigers have won 3. There's a line drive caught by Derek Jeter. He hung him a breaking ball, and Infante drilled one to the shortstop. 1 gone. Here comes Cabrera. Home run in the 4th inning, a leadoff solo shot to put the Tigers on the board with their first of the night, and then Peralta later drove in a run.
It's got to be a helpless feeling for a manager when Cabrera is standing in the batter's box with already 93 RBIs, 29 homers, and there's a runner on third, less than 2 outs.
Just the way we like it. Whoa. 421 now against Phil Hughes with 4 home runs. Breaking ball drilled down the left field line. That ball is 1 hop off the wall. Dirk scores. Jackson coming to third. Send him around. There is no relay. It's a double and 2 RBIs for Miguel. '95 RBIs now for Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera's baseball IQ is simply off the charts. He got a fastball his last time up, and he homered with that pitch, and he knew that Hughes was not going to throw him another fastball. He went up there looking for the breaking ball. He got the breaking ball and doubled and drove in a couple more.
That means Hughes' night is done. Boone Logan will come in to take on the lefty Prince Fielder. 2 runs in for Detroit. It is a wallside windows pitching change. Hughes departs after 102 pitches, and we'll be back. it all on this homestand. He's done it all this season, and there's not a park rod in this league that can hold him.
No, those first 2 home runs, those came on June 2nd when the Yankees made a visit here to Comerica Park. And when they got here last night, Mickey was waiting on him. And Ivan Nova, who's the starting pitcher, and he homered the straightaway center field. 454 feet on that one. And then Phil Hughes came out today, heavy dose of fastballs. Cabrera looked for one, cleared the hits out of the way, drilled one to left, and then got himself a hanging breaking ball his last time up because he knew that he was not going to get another fastball from Hughes, and he drilled that for a double. Just missed from hitting that out of the ballpark as well.
So the Tigers now lead 4-2. It is their first lead of the night, and they will try and add on to it now as Prince Fielder stands in against Boone Logan. A wave and a miss, 0-1. Numbers on Logan this year.
He's worked quite a bit this year. In the 53rd appearance, ERA is pretty good.
Ball missing inside. When you look at Logan's numbers, he has inherited 37 runners this year. 8 of them have come around to score. Tigers would like to make it 9. They have Cabrera down at second base. Short night for Phil Hughes. He threw a lot of pitches in the last inning, over 40. There's a drive that goes foul down the right field line. One hop into the glove of the ball boy. Nice play. Kid's got some skills, man. If I'm standing in front of the ball hit by Prince Fielder, I'm likely to move. One ball, 2 strikes. Make it 2-2 now. Cody Epley. 3.07 ERA, tuning up in the pen. Now Logan's 2-2. High fly ball, center field. Jackson cruising to his left. Second out of the inning. Prince is gone. That'll bring up Bosch. Bosch, a couple of hits in the ball game tonight, both singles, but it was his 12th pitch at bat in the 4th inning, which really did a lot of damage to Phil Hughes. 9 pitch first at bat and then 12 in the second at bat. So he alone was a thorn in the side of Phil Hughes.
And he singled in both of those plate appearances.
Logan missing with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-0. 253 batting average now for Bosch. Logan has done most of his work in the American League. He broke in with the Chicago White Sox. Spent some time with Atlanta in 2009. Slow bender drops in.
Jim, for the most part, does not like to have back-to-back left-handers in his lineup as he does here today with Fielder and Bosch. But Fielder can handle just about everybody, righty or lefty, and Bosch, since coming to the major leagues, has done very well against left-handed pitching himself.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Bosch. 8 hits now for Detroit, 6 for the Yankees. Yanks jumped out to a 2-0 lead on the Chavez home run. Tigers tied it up in the 4th and now have taken the lead here in the 5th. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He tried to hold up. Bosch is out. So are the Tigers. However, they get 2 on the double by Cabrera. On our way to the 6th. Sixth inning, 4 runs, 8 hits for Detroit, and 2 runs on 6 hits for the Yankees. The numbers on Rick Porcello after 73 pitches. It'll be Derek Jeter leading it off, then Robinson Cano and Mark Teixeira. And Rick Porcello now has a lead to work with for the first time in this ballgame tonight. There's a strike called on Derek Jeter, who has another hit tonight, 3 in the series. Jeter now leads all actives with 2, make it 3,231 hits, more than any other active player. There's a strike called, 0-2. He's had a storied career, there's no doubt about that. He's come a long way since that year in A-ball in the Yankees minor league system when he just started out in pro ball, when he committed 56 errors in a single season.
Whoa, that's a lot.
I mean, can you believe that? And it didn't apparently shake his confidence at all. There's a ball inside, 1-2.
Well, they knew that they had a great player when they drafted him. Didn't stay in the minor leagues very long. And when he got to the big leagues in '96, he was there to stay.
Here's the 1-2. Foul tip. If I commit 56 errors in a single season, I'm probably saying to myself, I'm not sure this is what I need to do.
Or they may have told you that themselves.
That's probably more precise.
You got to go find something else to do, young man.
But he was able to survive it, and here he is. He's headed to the Hall of Fame when he decides to hang it up. Now Jeter steps out. Cano and Teixeira to follow. We're in the 6th inning. Tigers have left 2. The Yankees have stranded only 2 in this game. Not too many base runners as Jeter takes outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Derek Jeter is one of the classiest men to ever put on a Major League Baseball uniform. Playing in the spotlight of New York, and you've never ever really heard of him making one misstep. Not a one.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball to second. Easy play for Infante. And 1 out. Back to the studio we go for a game break. Here's Justin White. All right, Justin, thank you. That's how it's shaping up in the Central. The Tigers a game and a half back behind the Chicago White Sox. Cleveland 10.5 now as they begin to fade.
Gordon Beckham also homered yesterday.
There's a foul at home plate. 0-1 the count on Robinson Cano.
Porcello showing a lot of confidence in his changeup. He started Derek Jeter off with a first pitch changeup, and he started Robinson Cano off with that same changeup as well.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cano leads all Major League second basemen in the power numbers. 24 homers, 64 RBIs. And he pulls that one on the ground to second. Right at Infante. This will be another 4-3 ground out. 2 up, 2 down. As Porcello continues to get the ground balls. Boy, is he. 12 of them now via the ground. 3 strikeouts, 2 flyouts. That'll bring up Teixeira as they pull 3 defenders to the right of second base. And Teixeira's been able to beat it twice. 2 singles. This time he shoots it to left field. Dirk's coming on, and Porcello has an easy 1-2-3 inning. 5.5 in the books. Still 4-2 Detroit. Tigers beat the Yankees in the 2006 ALDS. Which Tigers pitcher started game 4? Do you remember? It wasn't that far or long ago. It was Jeremy Bonderman. Remember these highlights?
The original Mr. Snappy. Bonda.
He was awesome on that night, and it touched off quite a celebration that we won't soon forget. And Kenny Rogers made sure that all the fans were able to participate.
Special night here at the ballpark.
And the goal is to get back to where the Tigers can get back into a World Series. We have a new pitcher now. It's Cody Epley for New York.
Cody Epley comes in with a 3.07 ERA, 17 strikeouts, 12 walks in 29 in a third inning. And you can imagine from that arm slot he throws from, not going to rack up lots of strikeouts, but he tries to get lots of ground balls.
Delman Young leads it off, and Johnny Peralta, then Alex Avila. 4 runs, 8 hits for Detroit, 2 runs, 6 hits for the Yankees. And Epley replaces Boone Logan, who got the final 2 outs in the 5th inning. He comes from the side and delivers a strike to Delman.
Starting to see more and more right-handed pitchers with this same type of delivery that Epley is featuring here tonight. Whereas in the past, it used to be mostly left-handers that drop down to this sidearm angle. Take a look at it.
That one sails outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Delman Young. Epley was claimed off waivers by the Yankees from Texas on April 5th. The Rangers had designated him for assignment on April 4th. And here he is back in the big leagues. Ground ball left side. Chavez up to his feet, and he throws him out. One away.
Not so sure that Chavez had to leave his feet to make this play, but he did, and he makes the play.
Here's Johnny Peralta, who had one of the big hits back in the 4th. Johnny with a double to drive in a run with 2 outs, and that tied the game at 2. Ball outside. Make it 1-1 now on Peralta. Way inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tapped to third base. That'll be a fair ball as well, behind the bag, and is dug out at first by one of the best that you will ever see, Mark Teixeira. A nifty pick at first base.
It's nice to have a guy like Teixeira on the other side, if you're Chavez, that when you do happen to throw one over the dirt, he has the confidence to pick it cleanly. He's done a lot of this in his major league career.
Thank you very much, says Chavez. Here comes Joe Girardi now, along with the Yankees trainer. And out to the mound they come. Epley has retired the first 2 men he has faced here in the 6th inning, and wonder what this is all about. That was a brief visit. Here is Alex Avila now with 2 outs. And he looks at ball 1 outside. Avila single and a ground out. Heavily pitched very briefly last year with Texas. He appeared in 10 games. And his ERA was 8. 2-0 the count. Avila takes a 2-0 pitch in for a strike, and it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Well, apparently there was a little bit of a mishap for Epley. After that last out, Chavez, watch him throw the ball.
Did it hit him in the head?
Yes, it did. Epley wasn't looking. Look up. Doink. That's why the trainer came out. Chavez, hey, hey, hey. That's into right center, a base hit. Not sure that I've ever seen that. That's why the trainer came out along with Girardi to make sure he was okay. Unfortunately, he was. Chavez really didn't throw that ball all that hard, but it nailed him right in the noggin. 2-out single. Avila now has 2 hits in the ball game. That'll bring up Andy Dirks. Not a laughing matter tonight for Joe Girardi. His team raced out to a 2-0 lead, but the Tigers now lead 4-2. Dirks had a single, scored a run back in the 5th. Strike 1 on Andy.
The Tigers did not get off to a really good start to this year playing here at Comerica Park. But lately, they have really been protecting home court very nicely.
Ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, this is the type of baseball they were playing at home last year down the stretch. Really, on the road, too. They were winning everywhere. But it was really difficult to beat the Tigers in this ballpark, and it's shaping up to be that way in the second half again this year. Missed it outside, 2-1.
Tigers group has a whole different feel to it. Now, even though they did not play all that well on that road trip through Cleveland, Toronto, and Boston, they were still walking around with lots of confidence. There were still lots of smiles in that Tigers clubhouse. I think they knew that they just ran into a nice little tough stretch there, and they would get it back.
Yeah, and it's something Jim Leyland talked about before the game today, how he really likes the way the Yankees go about their business, even when they lose, that they know that there's another game tomorrow. We're a good team. We'll bounce back. And the Tigers had a lot of that same feel early this year. And with a win tonight, the Tigers will have won their 60th game. Driven deep to right field. Way back. Swisher looks up. It's off the wall. Here comes Avila rounding third. He will come around to score. Diving into third. Out. There is Dirks. But he'll not get a run. Double and an RBI for Andy Dirks. Tigers add to their lead.
hustle off the gate by Dirt, so he gets to the ball, he gets to Cano, but take a look at Cano. He's got his left leg in the air, already anticipating where he's going to throw the ball, and he grabs it and flips the ball to third base, and I mean just flips it, and he's able to get Andy Dirks trying to stretch that double into a triple, and Andy was running hard. But Robinson Cano and Derek Jeter, they make that play is about as well as any of the middle infielders in the American League when they need to take the ball on a relay and then get it to one of the respective bases.
And it gets back to what we were talking about last night with Cano. He just makes everything look so effortless. Strong throwing arm. He just flipped it over to third and he applied the tag. So the Tigers settled for one run. They lead 5-2 now.
There are not many in the game today that could make the game look as easy as Robinson Cano does on both sides of the ball.
Eric Chavez is the batter now as we go to the 7th inning here at the ballpark. Chavez hit a 2-run homer back in the 4th. Right now the only offense the Yankees have been able to put up.
He really has been their only offense the last couple of days.
Good point. He had 3 hits yesterday. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Eric Chavez. Porcello had a 1-2-3-6, the 1-2-3-5. He has had 4 1-2-3 innings in this game. Back out of play. 1-2 on Chavez. 10 Tigers hits in this game now and 6 for the Yankees. And the 1-2. Ground ball foul, first base side. Talking about this earlier, but Porcello for the most part against the East this year has been good. 2-1 with a 3.41 ERA. And he's throwing another dandy here tonight to this point. High fly ball left field. Stay in the park. Dirk's under it. 1 out. It's 8 straight retired by Porcello. 89 pitches, so he's in good shape there. The most he's thrown in a single start this year is 106.
And should Porcello need some help here tonight, Tigers bullpen is back intact after what Verlander did yesterday, pitching 8 innings.
Ball 1 to Nick Swisher. Porcello has gone 11 consecutive starts without throwing 100 pitches.
You think that's by design?
I do. The 1-0 is lined toward left. That is slicing, and it'll go to the corner, extra bases. Swisher is on his way to second. Do you think that's by design as well?
Not sure. Not sure. I know there has been some chances where Rick probably could have gone over the 100 pitch mark, so I guess Jim is watching him very closely this year.
Well, the one that comes to mind was the start against the White Sox when he went 8th, came out for the 9th, gave up a couple of hits, and they took him out.
He only threw, what, 92 that day, right?
94. One on, one out, 7th hit of the game now for the Yanks. Here's Ibanez. I mean, there have been starts where obviously he wasn't going to get to 100 pitches. He was taken out after 3 2/3 in a start against Minnesota, 5 2/3 in another start. Action in the Tigers bullpen. Villarreal and Koch.
It gives you a whole nother level of appreciation for the guy that towed the rubber for them last night, Verlander, who in 23 straight starts this year has gone over the 100 pitch mark every start.
Yeah. You take that for granted sometimes, what he brings to the table night in and night out, how many pitches or how many innings he will give you over the course of a year. 250 or so. There's a strike.
Rick Sutcliffe, who was here broadcasting last night as well. And Rick Sutcliffe was talking about Verlander and did not realize he had as great a changeup as Verlander possessed. And of course, Sutcliffe is a real good big league pitcher himself.
Busted him inside that time and missed with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ibanez.
And the one thing that was fascinating about Verlander for people that come to watch him is that when he has one of those starts like he did last night, where less than 50% of his pitches are fastballs. He throws more off-speed pitches than he does fastballs, and he throws 100 miles an hour.
Grounded to second base. Infante has it there. Ibanez out 4-3. Advance the runner. "14 strikeouts, tied a career high last night for JV. And he became the 3rd pitcher with 14 or more Ks and no earned runs against the Yankees since 1913. Avila down to block it. Ichiro up there. It has been a hitless series for the newest New York Yankee. Ichiro, acquired at the trading deadline or just before. 0 for 2 in this one with another strikeout. And Porcello deals a strike 1-1. Well, the on base percentage for Ichiro on average was .376 from 01 to 2010. That has dipped the last 3 years. And that is part of the reason why Joe Girardi has him hitting so deep in the lineup. His on base percentage in the high 2s this year. Slap that one back on the seats.
Over into the camera well over there.
Barry, you all right? Good to see. We need you, Barry. One and 2 on Ichiro. Ball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's an even 100 now for Rick. Swisher has doubled. He's standing at 3rd down with 2 outs. And the 2-2. And that's a fair ball inside the bag at 3rd. That'll get a run in. Ichiro is on his way to 2nd. He'll pull in with an RBI double. And now the Yankees back to within 2.
Not another hitter in Major League Baseball that has as many moving parts as Ichiro does, but the head stayed still. Tremendous hand-eye coordination and is able to slice that one right past the diving Miguel Cabrera.
18th double of the year for Ichiro, and we'll see if that is it for Rick Porcello. Skipper makes it out to the mound, and he'll take the baseball. All in all, a good effort tonight for Rick, and the crowd letting him know it. Tigers make a change. We'll be back. At Bell Tire and by Toyota, brought to you by your Greater Detroit Toyota dealers. What a gorgeous night here in the Motor City. And while we have a moment, let's check out the Farmers Insurance report card. Tigers have a chance with a win tonight to equal the longest winning streak at Comerica Park, which was set from June 15th through July 15th of 06. And currently they have a 9-gamer.
I'm all for that.
Brian Villarreal will check in. With Russell Martin up there, he's the tying run at the plate suddenly now in a 5-3 game. And Martin looks at ball one.
Outstanding numbers for Brian Villarreal this year. The ERA is tremendous. He has struck out 47 batters in just 34 2/3 innings and really hasn't walked that many. But half of his inherited runners have scored.
Fly ball. Not this field. Bosch coming toward the line, and that is as Villarreal comes out of the pen and gets Martin. They settle for one run. We go to the stretch.
Started for the New York Yankees, and he was kind of having his way with quite a few of the Tigers hitters. He was elevating a lot of the fastballs, but then it was Miguel Cabrera in the 4th inning that went up there sitting on a piece of cheese. He got it. You know, you can't sneak cheese by a rat, and he kind of changed the way that Phil Hughes started to pitch. He went to many more breaking balls after that and did not last much longer in the game, but he had a good game plan, and Miggy forced him into changing midstream.
So Paws enjoying himself tonight here. The Tigers and their fans are as well. 5-3 is our score. Paws is such a ham. Here is Austin Jackson to lead it off. Tigers have 10 hits in this game. They'll bat here in the bottom of the 7th, leading by 2. In there for strike one as we check out the Jimmy John's leaderboard, and here are the batting leaders in the American League. Mike Trout continues to lead the way, but there's Cabrera and there's Jackson right behind him.
Trout celebrating his 21st birthday today.
Ball low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Austin Jackson. And Fonte and then Cabrera to follow. Jackson had a single, scored a run on the 2-run double by Miguel. There's a chopper to third, foul. 1-2 the count. Emily is out there. He came on in the 6th inning. Gave up a run. There's Octavio Dotel warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Swing and a miss. Jackson tied up. Down he goes. 1 out. Remember, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game. It's presented by the Quarter Pounder with cheese. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, and then the player's uniform number to 37338. Or if you'd like, vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Here's Infante. Omar is 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. Epley, one of those long shots that got to the big leagues. More action in the bullpen for the Yankees. Wave and a miss. 0-2. Epley was a 43rd round pick of the Texas Rangers. And he made it to the big leagues with the Rangers and now with the Yankees. You're fighting awfully tough odds to get to the major leagues when you're drafted in the 43rd round. That's low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Don't know for sure, but I'm sure that him dropping down to this angle that he throws from now probably aided in him getting to the major leagues. Get some ground balls against tough right-handed hitters. Give him a different look.
Shot to right field. That'll get in there. Base hit. Swisher over to play it, and Infante is on with a 1-out single. Here at Comerica Park tonight on a great night for baseball. Tigers trying to make it 2 straight over the Yankees. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, happy that you are with us here tonight. Brady Klima, our producer, and Brian Moss, our director tonight. So here is the big fella now, Miguel Cabrera, who has 3 more RBIs tonight. 2 of them came in on the double that he stroked back in the 5th.
5 RBIs shy of getting to 100 for the 9th consecutive season.
Line drive to right. Swisher having trouble. He found it, and he'll throw back to first base. Not in time.
It's a nice job by Swisher in the outfield. It is a helpless feeling for an outfielder when the ball gets in the lights, but you see that he put one hand up and he just didn't panic. He stayed there and he waited and he turned to the side until the ball came out of the lights. That's how you play a ball in the lights. You turn to the side, you wait till it comes out, and then you can make the play. If you panic, it is over. And I've been out there and panicked.
So that'll be it for Epley. They will go to the bullpen, and we will step aside with the Tigers up 2. 7th inning, and apparently his day job is as an option quarterback. Swisher out there in right field. And but wondering what they do between pitches. Look at this.
And it doesn't appear that Ichiro took many handoffs.
No, it doesn't.
Let's try one more time.
Now it's 2nd down.
You can tell it's getting close to football season. Ichiro looked the same.
Ichiro's like, what are you doing? Swisher left to have some fun. Here is Prince Fielder facing Clay Rapata, former Tiger.
Nick Swisher went to Ohio State, but I don't think they run the option there, do they?
No, nor did he step foot on the gridiron, I don't think. Here's a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rapata pitched for the Tigers in 07, 08, and 09. Fielder is hitless in this one. Snap throw and the runner back, and Fonte dives back in. Omar singled with 1 out, standing there now with 2 outs. Tigers lead by 2. Little tap right in front of the plate. Martin calls off the pitcher. Quick gun is in time. Prince hustling down the line, almost beat it out. Huffin and a puffin down the first base line, and Martin just beat him. On to a 2-run spread. And here are some news and notes around the major leagues. The Tribe is certainly troubled. 10-game losing streak. Of course, the Tigers stunned them here on Sunday. Evan Longoria returns tonight from that hamstring injury. And Rod, we thought that might never happen. How about Ben Sheets?
First of all, Longoria. I mean, when is the last time you heard of a player missing 3 months with a hamstring, but he tried to come back too soon? Then he had to go back on the deal or stay on there. And how about Ben Sheets? I mean, this guy's resurrected his career in Atlanta.
It really is an unbelievable story. Tommy John surgery in 2010. Longoria, by the way, tonight 1 for 3 with an RBI for the Rays, and Octavio Dotel is on now for Detroit.
And by the way, that headshot was not Ben Sheets. That was Craig Kimbrell.
The info was correct. The picture was not. That's a good pickup, by the way. So Dotel goes to work. And we have some changes now. Quentin Berry enters the game. He'll play left field, and Andy Dirks moves to right. Austin Jackson remains in center. Curtis Granderson leads it off. Missed it outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Granderson. Curtis tonight is 0 for 3. He's fanned a couple of times. Lifted back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Granderson. So Villarreal comes on for 1 batter. And now it's Dotel here in the 8th. Porcello has done the rest. In the air, center field, not deep. Jackson coming on, Peralta going back, and Johnny makes the play. 1 gone.
The Tigers battle the New York Yankees again tomorrow at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Tigers tailgate plate. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
You big tailgater, football games or anything else?
When I do happen to go to a football game and there are some people tailgating, I will go and eat a few groceries.
You'll partake?
Have a few beverages.
Now, are you invited is the question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just wondering.
But not many.
Derek Jeter, the batter.
How about you?
Yeah, I do. I love to do it. I used to do it in college a lot. It's always fun to watch the tailgaters at Lions games. Swing and a miss by Jeter. The atmosphere here in the Motor City is really good on football Sundays, as it is on baseball nights here in the summer. Jeter a single in 3 at bats tonight. And Dotel's 0-1. Well, back 0-2. On Derek Jeter. Cano will be next. Top of the lineup here in the 8th inning for Joe Girardi. And the 0-2. Dotel at 95 just missed.
Dotel wanted that call. And Bob Davidson obviously didn't get it. But Dotel felt like that pitch was at the bottom of the zone on the black, and he was right.
Yes, he was. Derek Jeter lives to see another pitch. And he lines one to right field, and Dirks will run it down. 2 up, 2 down here against Dotel. Guess who's warming up? According to the Sports Illustrated poll, the 3rd most eccentric player in the major leagues, Papa Grande. Here's Robinson Cano. Not a whole lot going on tonight for Cano. He's hit the ball on the ground 3 times. This time he lines one to right field. Dirks gets there for the out. 1-2-3 inning. And Dotel fired up. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. How about that reaction from Dotel on that last line drive?
He must have thought that Robinson Cano was going to hit that ball into the gap.
He's laughing at him. You gotta love Dotel. Then he gets in the dugout and reenacts the whole thing.
They got to be buddies.
And Cano returns a smile the other way. Having fun. Easier to have fun when you're winning, as the Tigers are right now. 5-3 ball game. Quentin Berry will get his first at bat of this contest, and he shoots one on the ground. A short Jeter on one hop. Off balance throw is in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. Quentin is out of there. We'll bring up Delman Young. For 3 tonight for Delman, and he will not face Rapata. Here comes Joe Girardi. Jabba Chamberlain is peeking through the fence to see if the change will be made. You know it will, and so Rapata is out. Pitching change. Here comes Jabba. We'll be back. Over to the ball game tonight. The 7 through 9 hitters in this series are 10 for 20. How about that? And here's another big stat, Rod. 8 straight seasons now. The Tigers surpassed 2 million fans.
And the way that they're drawing fans this year, they are going to get to 3 million in 2012.
Yeah, tonight 39,760 your attendance this evening. Jabba Chamberlain, who has just returned to action. Here are the numbers that he posted last year.
And that was a season that ended with surgery. That will be Tommy John surgery in June of 2011. On August 1st this year, made his first appearance in about 14 months.
So he'll come on here with 1 out. Rapata threw 2/3 out of the bullpen, and Delman Young will face him. Delman tonight 0 for 3. A couple of grounders and a fly ball. Big swing there, 0-1.
First pitch slider there from Chamberlain to Delman. And Jabba, we saw him a couple of days ago. He was getting up to, actually yesterday, he was getting up to 96 with his fastball.
Well, there's 97.
Guys have that Tommy John surgery, and they come back throwing harder than they were throwing before they had the surgery.
You see 1-1. Missed it inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that's one thing about Jabba Chamberlain. When he first burst onto the scene pitching out of that bullpen for the Yankees, he was 97, 98. Real firm fastball. But the last couple of years before the injury, his fastball wasn't clocked that high. But he's back. at that real good range again.
Well, it's been a bumpy road for Jabba Chamberlain. He dislocated his ankle in March on a trampoline with his son after having Tommy John surgery last June. Shot to right field on a line. Swisher turns on it off the base of the wall, and he's going to hold Delman to a base hit.
Swisher played that ball off the right field wall like he plays all of his home games right here at Comerica Park. The ball was hit right on the button, but Swisher got back. He backed up. He played it on one bounce off the wall. He barehanded it and got the ball back in, and Delman didn't even entertain the thought of trying to get to second.
Detroit hits in this game. Certainly wouldn't hurt to get another run in. Tigers lead by 2. Breaking ball strike 0-1 on Johnny Peralta. He's delivered a key hit tonight, an RBI double back in the 4th. After the Tigers trailed 2-0, his double tied it up. Fly ball in the air toward left field. Ichiro to the warning track. 2 gone.
And fans, you can follow the Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. You can get live audio pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text that BAT to 31826, or you can simply visit Tigers.com for details.
Here's Alex Avila. Two out of 3 tonight for Alex, both singles. Ball 1 from Chamberlain. It's going to be Teixeira, Chavez, and Swisher due up when we get to the 9th for New York. Alex looks at a ball inside at 96, and the count goes to 2-0. Three balls, no strikes.
We've seen Alex swing at a few 3-0 pitches this year. And this might be one of those opportunities where Jim does give him the luxury of doing so.
Instead, he takes a walk. Avila on for the 3rd time tonight.
As soon as this game ends, our coverage will continue with Tigers Live. As you always do, you're going to hear from Jim Leland and the players. We'll break the game down, show you all the highlights. That is Tigers Live immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
So now Dirks. It's the first base on balls for either team tonight. And it comes here in the 8th. Ball 1. And he had an RBI double. That was in the 6th inning. He singled and scored in the 5th, so he just continues to hit. Larry Rothschild now coming out of the dugout for the Yankees to have a chat with Chamberlain. Well, as they talk about what's going on right now, we'll talk about what's going to go on tomorrow night. Our pitching matchup presented tonight by Gordon Chevrolet, and it's going to be CC Sabathia tomorrow facing Anibal Sanchez of the Detroit Tigers.
It'll be a good one. It'll be nice for the Tigers to get a win here tonight if the score holds up, going up against Sabathia, who is arguably one of the best left-handers in the game, and Anibal Sanchez got a win here in his first start at Comerica Park.
And CC 17 career wins in 34 starts, an ERA of over 4 against Detroit. We'll be towing the slab tomorrow night. Here's the 1-0. Dirks fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. .340 batting average on the year now for Dirks. Two and one. Ground ball right side. It finds a hole. Base hit. Delman rounding third. They will score him. Andy Dirks gets it done again. That's his 3rd hit tonight. And a big run for the Tigers. 3-run spread.
Dirks looks like he hasn't missed a beat. Here's a guy that's spent a couple of months on the disabled list. No live pitching whatsoever. Only went down to Toledo for a handful of games. And he comes back to the majors and just continues to get it done.
Second RBI tonight. He also doubled in a run in the 6th. So Delman's single with 1 out started the rally, and he comes around to score. Here's Austin Jackson, 1 for 4 tonight. Ball outside. Dirks now is up to 345. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 on Jackson. Austin, with his base hit back in the 5th inning, extends his hitting streak to 10 straight. He's got Avila at 3rd, Dirks at 1st. And the 1-1. Inside, almost hit him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Chamberlain now has thrown 18 pitches since coming out of the bullpen. 11 of those have missed the strike zone, and they have more activity in their bullpen. Soriano warming up. Ball low. 3-1. That's in for a strike. 3-2.
Even though he threw you a breaking ball there, if you're Austin Jackson on the 3-1 count, you still have to be ready for that fastball. And if he throws you another breaking ball, you have to make that adjustment in the batter's box. But Java's got 97 with that heater. You have to be looking for that here.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Jackson. The inning is over. Tigers get a big insurance run. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. on here as we go to the ninth inning. It is 6-3 and a big night tonight for Andy Dirks.
He had a lot of big nights before he went on the disabled list as well, and Andy Dirks just continues to spray the baseball all around the diamond. The one thing that impresses me about Andy, he takes the same swing. It really doesn't matter whether he's ahead in the count or behind in the count. He's very much under control, and he has done major damage here tonight against the Yankees pitching staff.
Big RBI for Dirks in the 8th, making it a 3-run game, and so that means the Tigers now are continuing their offensive explosion at home since July the 4th. A 15-1 record, but the offensive numbers have just been elevated, which is really good to see. Now if they can bring those numbers on the road, they will be rolling. So 3 more outs to get, and the Yankees coming to the dish here in the 9th inning. And they will face the Tiger closer, Jose Valverde.
Jose is looking for his 22nd save of the year here against the Yankees. He'll have to go through the middle of their batting order to get it.
It'll start with Teixeira, then it goes to Chavez, and then Swisher. Ball 1 to Mark Teixeira, who has 2 singles tonight, 2 for 3. And Teixeira batting .256. Not a whole lot of luck against Valverde. 0 for 5. In for a strike. 1-1 on Mark Teixeira. Valverde came on in the ball game last night in a 7-2 game and got a 1-2-3 9th inning. This is a safe situation tonight. 3-run spread. Ball outside, 2-1. Villarreal, Dotel, and Valverde in this game out of the Detroit bullpen. Outside again. 3 balls, 1 strike. And 21 saves for Valverde is tied for 7th in the American League. Grounded foul. Came in with a fastball, and Teixeira took a swing. 3-2. If you dial it back to the start of the 2010 season, Valverde leads all American League pitchers with 96 saves in that span. Of course, he had the perfect year last year. Three-two pitch. Popped him up. I mean, straight up. Who wants it? Cabrera does. 1 out. Going to bring up Eric Chavez. Two-run shot for the Yankees. That was back in the 4th. That jumped the Yanks out to a 2-0 lead on Rick Porcello.
He had a line drive out to left field. Hit the top of the wall and bounced into the Tigers bullpen.
Remember seeing one get out that quickly on the line from a left-handed batter?
Nope.
Not in this ballpark. There's a strike called, 0-1.
Yankees do most of their damage with the long ball, though. Over 50% of their runs are scored when they're trotting around the bases. And they've got a lot of sock in that lineup. Granderson leads the way with 29 homers.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Of course, that ballpark that they play in yields a lot of home runs.
Well, the home run tonight by Chavez is the first they've hit in the series. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Yankee third baseman.
I know that was a concern of their manager, Joe Girardi's, when they were here in June. I had a conversation with him, and he says, yes, we hit lots of home runs, but we have not done very well with runners in scoring position. But yet they have one of the best records in the game.
They've hit 169 long balls, and they came in with a total of 63 victories, tied with Texas for the most wins in the AL.
Top 4 cities on that home run chart. All homer happy places. Toronto, Texas, Chicago, and New York.
Drilled to center field. That's going to be a base hit, and Chavez continues to swing it in this series.
Eric is playing like he's young again.
Second hit tonight, 9th for the Yankees. We'll bring up Nick Swisher. And limited time against Valverde. 5 career at bats. He has a homer, 2 out of 5. And Swisher looks at a strike, 0-1. Nick in the ballgame tonight, 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a single. This was after going 0 for 4 in last night's opener, and he also snapped an 0 for 13 slump tonight. Fouled away. Now the count is 0-2 on Swisher. Ibanez waiting on deck. $39,760 in attendance tonight. Starting to make some noise now as Valverde tries to get the second out. Just off the plate, Bob Davidson flinched. He thought about it, but decided not to do it. 1-2.
Outstanding location on the split-fingered fastball here from Valverde. What he's trying to get Swisher into doing is rolling over something to second base and get the double play to end the game.
Now the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out single by Eric Chavez. That run the Tigers got in the bottom of the 8th. Looking pretty good right now. The RBI single by Dirks made it a 3-run spread. Otherwise, Swisher would be the tying run at the plate right now. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Swisher is out of there. That's a big one. 2 gone.
Swisher was asking home plate umpire Bob Davidson, was that ball outside? And I think Mr. Davidson told him it was.
Valverde, 2 outs. 1 more out to get. Here's Ibanez. 2 out of 4 against Jose in his career. And tonight, not much going on for Ibanez. 0 for 3. And it's in there, a strike, 0-1. Here is Valverde's 0-1. Popped up foul. Back out of play. Now it's 0-2. Crowd to its feet. 39,000 strong. Inside, and the count goes to 1-2.
Papa Grande got a little giddy up on his fastball here tonight. Most of the ones that he has thrown have been 95 miles an hour.
Did he have some of that good coffee before the game? Maybe?
He must have. He must have had some of that.
They're trying to get it to Ichiro. He's waiting on deck.
Some of that Dominican coffee. It's awfully strong.
Here's the 1-2. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Ibanez has fought back into the count now, evening it up. And Valverde and his pitch speeds in this at bat. Trying to nail this one shut. Tigers looking to go to 33 and 21 at home this season with a win here tonight. Here's the 2-2. Off the plate again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We'll give Chavez a head start at first base. Ichiro waiting on deck, hoping he gets an opportunity. From 0-2 to 3-2. And the 3-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again. Inning started with Teixeira popping up. And then Chavez singled. Swisher struck out. Valverde has thrown 21 pitches. Popped up foul. This will get back out of play again, so we'll do it again. Ibanez making this crowd wait. They've been on their feet looking for that final out. Ball's doing his part. And again the 3-2. And another foul back out of play. Ibanez earlier this year turned 40 years of age. He's trying to prolong this game here in the 9th inning. And he walked in ball 4, and Ibanez with a whale of an at bat, and the Yankees are not dead yet. That's going to bring the tying run to the plate. It's going to be Ichiro. And the skipper's had to bite his nails through this one. Valverde last night threw 18 pitches, 24 here this evening.
Couple of words of encouragement there by Prince Fielder after the walk to Raul Ibanez.
So now here's Ichiro. He doubled in a run. That was back in the 7th inning. 1 for 3 for Ichiro. And he takes ball 1. This has turned into a rather stressful 9th inning now for Papa Grande. Tigers have 6 runs, 13 hits. Yankees have 3 runs, 9 hits. But more importantly, a single and a walk here in the 9th to bring the tying run to the plate. Ball 2. Now Jeff Jones will come out of the Detroit dugout. The pitching coach will try and reel Valverde back in. He has fallen behind 2-0 after walking Ibanez. He had Ibanez down the count.
Tigers bullpen still quiet. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow as the Tigers and the New York Yankees play the 3rd game of this series. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. That's Tigers baseball tomorrow at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
There's CC Sabathia. He'll get the call tomorrow night for the Yankees. And Anibal Sanchez will go for the Detroit Tigers. And the series winds up Thursday afternoon. Doug Fister, Hiroki Kuroda. 2-0 on Ichiro. Chavez a single. Ibanez a walk. And the 2-0. It's in there. 2-1 on Ichiro. Valverde may get to 30 pitches in this inning. He's at 27 right now. Here's the 2-1. Slice to center field. Base hit. Chavez coming to 3rd. They're going to send him home. That'll get a run in, and Ichiro keeps it going with an RBI single. It's a 6-4 ball game. And the tying runs are on now, and Jim Leland's starting to pace. Number 9 hitter Russell Martin will be stepping in. And that is the 10th hit of the game for the New York Yankees. But if you're looking for some good news, here it is. 1 for 13 against Valverde in his career. 0.77.
Most of that came when both players were playing in the National League.
Martin is 0 for 3 in this game, and he takes the ball way inside, up and in. The struggles for Valverde continue here in the 9th. Billy Butler now is homered for Kansas City, and so the good news is they lead Chicago 5-2 in the 8th. This will be the 30th pitch in this inning for Valverde. And it's lined to left field. It's down, an extra base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes Ichiro to third. They're going to stop him there. He is the tying run at third base. It's a double for Martin, and it's 6-5.
This ball was absolutely scorched down in the left field corner, and it's a good thing that Q was out in the outfield because his speed allowed him to get to the ball and get it back in a hurry, which meant that Rob Thompson, the third base coach, had to put the stop sign up for Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah, it looked like they might be able to get the tying run in there. So it's second and third, and now Curtis Granderson, who is 2 for 4 against Valverde. 6-5 game. Granderson is hitless tonight. And he lines one foul down the first base line.
If you're Jim, you have to be at least thinking about possibly walking Granderson to load the bases to go after Derek Jeter, who is a right-handed batter. But Valverde has thrown so many pitches in this inning, and he's been so wild. And the last thing that you want to do to him is load the bases.
Meanwhile, Phil Coke starting to warm up in the Detroit bullpen. They have the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second. It's a 2-run 9th inning for the Yankees. 0-1 on Curtis Granderson. And that floats outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers brought a 6-3 lead into the 9th inning. 1-out single by Chavez, a walk to Ibanez, and then RBI hits by Ichiro and Martin. Here's the 1-1. He popped him up. Oh, this should do it. Prince calling for it. Get out of my way, he says, and that is a winner for the Tigers.
They'll take it.
They'll more than likely be without their closer tomorrow night, but you're right, they will take it. The Tigers win the first 2 games in the series. It got awfully interesting here in the 9th inning. But they will come away with their 6th consecutive victory in a ballgame that took 3 hours 17 minutes to play. Stay with us. A whole lot more coming up. Tigers a winner tonight. Back with more